Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine, here with the R Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. I am back with another prophetic message. If you are new to my channel, I just want to say welcome, and for those of you who are returning, I just want to say welcome back. And keep in mind that these energies could be happening now, could be happening. I truly believe that these energies are happening now, is what I'm hearing. And it's been happening for some time, but I think some of you are really coming to the realization of I believe it's coming to the realization of people being aware of certain aspects of things going on in their relationships, and it's no more, you can't cookie code it or try to sugarcoat it, should I say. So it's no more sugarcoating it. It's like reality is kind of hitting some people in the face, should I say. But anyway, but with all that being said, keep in mind keep in mind that these energies are happening. I truly believe they're happening now. And if you haven't come to the realization of that's how some of your relationships are, you will be, probably within the next week or two, is what I'm getting. But anyway, so with all that being said, keep that in mind. What else do I want to say? I think that's just basically it. I'm sorry. I just basically want to say, I know I said yesterday that these energies are kind of affecting everybody in their own certain way. For me, it's kind of slowing me down a little bit. So it's no more like, like all of that energy that I normally tell you that I have. And I still have the energy. It's just that it's kind of meddling me out just a little bit. Anyway, so with all that being said, so anyway, let me get right into the messages. So the message that I received this morning was, wrong one. Oh, okay. The message I received this morning was, I got two messages on relationships. So one relationships, it was two different dreams. So the first relationship, I got it like, it was as if I was in this couple's shoes. Like I felt their energy in a sense, like I could feel whatever they felt in a sense, and I could feel what was possibly there, in their heart, should I say. But anyway, so it was like a couple, two people were together, and these two individuals, I got that they was just with each other just for the sake of being with each other. And these are people who you are actually like staying in the same household that you're married to. This message is for those people. So I saw that again, these are people who are married and they stay within the same household, and they are in some people are experiencing this. Like, I can't tell you who, just take it how it resonates. You may even know somebody who's in a heartless marriage, should I say, because that's not me being harsh. I'm just telling you how I felt the energy in the dream. But some of you may know some people who are actually in heartless marriages. They're just together just to be together, and there's no love there. There's like no love. When I say no love, I mean no love. I really got that the man and the woman was just together just to be together, is what I got, just for the sake of being together. That's the message that I received when I in the dream. They were just together just to be together. There was no romance there. There was no sexual desires towards one another, as most couples would want in a relationship. But not only that, but it was also, I got the information like it was sexless is what I heard when, at the time of the dream. It's sad and it's unfortunate because, I mean, that's sad. I know I wouldn't want to be in no sexless marriage. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't even do it. I don't even know how that's, how that's happening or whatever the case may be. But, that would be an issue for me. I guess at that point in time, I'm like, what else is there that's left, Oh, I thought it was something on my forehead or something on the camera. Anyway, so with all that being said, I saw that was in one relationship that was that's happening for. It's not just happening to one person. That's happening to a lot of individuals. I just can't pinpoint who it is. So take the message how it resonates. It's going to resonate differently for everyone. But again, the message may resonate with you. The message may not resonate with you. And if it's not resonated with you now, it could come to a point that it could possibly resonate with you, or it may not resonate with you at all. But I will say this, keep in mind too, that these energies could be happening to someone around you, your family members, someone that's close to your friend, co-workers, whatever the case may be, So just because, and what I'm hearing is too, this didn't even come to me until just now. What I'm hearing is just because people may look like everything is okay on the outside, on the inside, it's something totally different. It's like people may look at these individuals as what I'm hearing, and you may think to yourself, oh, I wish I had that relationship. No, you don't. Let me just say that first and foremost. Don't want what anybody else had because you didn't know what they had to go through in order to get it. But second of all, some things aren't always what they appear to be, is what I'm hearing as well too. So keep that in mind too, because anything and everything that look like it's glitter isn't always gold. Keep that in mind too. So yes, so those messages just came to me right now. So yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next message. So there was another relationship that I actually saw too. I had a second dream where this was pertaining to another relationship, and this one was letting me know this is a relationship dealing with a situation of, I got the feeling like this man wasn't in his son's life, but he's in a relationship with somebody, and he was like missing his son in a sense. Like he wanted to put his son's picture up, and it's almost like he had to ask his wife in a sense, could he put his son's picture up in a sense? So to me, that was letting me know, like, the message I had received from that was this man, and take it how it resonates, because it can resonate both ways too, but it was more so focused on the men. A lot of these men are in these relationships that I'm not saying that it doesn't apply to women, but it's probably more of men. Anyway, I don't want to confuse you. It was more the male archetype is what I saw that was kind of experiencing these issues. I'm not saying that there aren't women out there who may possibly feel that way too, but I think the energy is more so focused on the men. But anyway, so keep that in mind. So the message that I was receiving about this second relationship with this man was in a marriage, but I felt like he was in a marriage, but he was in a marriage to the point of, he felt like he was sacrificing his child in a sense. Like I kind of got a feeling like maybe I didn't get a feeling like maybe but then I'm not sure. Let me not even say that. But I kind of got a feeling like he wanted to put a picture of his son up as a way to just kind of like, remind him that his son is there and, he loves his son. But I also got the intuitive message of like he's valuing his relationship more so over his child in a sense. It's like he's missing his child, but he's being in this relationship that it was another situation of this relationship also felt like it was there were no feelings there, should I say, but it's for the sake of just, I don't know if it's for the sake of just saying that you're married. I don't know, but anyway, so I know that is coming up as well too, because I know I did a video on that last week, was it? Or was it early part of this week? It was a message of me talking about relationships and people being, people's intentions of why they was in certain relationships and why people were, separated, but yet still holding on to other people rather than just letting them go, especially when their intentions aren't pure, because maybe they don't want to see them happy, without them, or there's a fear of them being happy without them. Or, and then it was just the single people who were just playing games with people, and all that other stuff. But anyway, nevertheless, I don't want no parts of it, because it just me sitting here giving that message alone is just like, it's just too much. It's almost like I can feel that energy, and it's just like, it's just too much. That's not something I want to deal with. But anyway, to each his to own, and I'm not belittling anybody else who is choosing to make that free will choice to stay into those type of relationships. But Yeah, nevertheless, both of these relationships are they're just there for the sake of being together. And unfortunately, excuse me, I know Father's Day weekend is this weekend, so unfortunately, sometimes the kids have to suffer, because of certain choices that parents choose to make, rather than trying to balance the two. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not apologizing, but I'm basically apologizing on behalf of the kids, because the kids are innocent. The kids didn't ask to be here. So therefore, if the kids, in a sense, are the ones who have to end up suffering because of decisions that adults make. Yeah. So anyway, so the last dream that I had received it was like two individual people. Like, you guys could be experiencing, whew, I'm sorry, y'all. Whoever's dealing with those type of relationships, that's just too much. Anyway, I also saw too that there was two other. This is a situation that some of you guys may find yourself dealing with. There could be some people that are noticing you, whether they say something or they don't say anything to you. They're noticing you and just kind of noticing some of the things that you're doing. And one of the people I saw was kind of curious of what you were doing, but it was in a sense, so I'm not sure. You may end up finding yourself having a conversation with somebody, or it's just a person kind of energetically wondering what you're doing. And basically, I saw that some of you guys are kind of telling these individuals that basically, you're taking care of yourself. You're taking time out for yourself. You're spending time and energy taking care of yourself is what I saw. And then that was one lady asking a question. Then there was another lady that was kind of curious, and her energy was all over the place. So with all that being said, you guys may start to notice that either some people start being a little curious about some of the things that you're doing, or you're noticing that people are watching you in a sense. So if you feel like that song say, I gotta feel like somebody's watching me. Anyway, so if you get a feeling of that, people could be watching you and watching what you're doing, because they, for whatever reasons, they wanting to know what it is that you're doing. I can't really say what their reasons for asking, but I know that they're just curious. They're curious about they're just curious. They're curious of how you're presenting yourself, how you're flowing, how you're operating, how you're how you just going with the flow is what I'm hearing. And there was also another situation where somebody else approached me also. They kind of felt like they were surrounding neighbors, but these are not some people that I know in particular. In the dream, they didn't look familiar to me. So I take it that some of you guys, some of your neighbors and stuff are going to be, just a little curious about some of the stuff that you're doing. They're probably noticing some things about you that are different. So keep that in mind too. And then the other lady who appeared in the dream, this lady came with kind of like a chaotic energy in a sense, like she was in overload. So in other words, she was in overload. When she came to have a conversation with me, it was as if she was like exhausted, but she was just like, yeah, everything was just like that type of energy with her. So yeah, so whatever she had going on, I was just looking at her and I was just thinking to myself, that's too much. You're doing too much. Like, I'm gonna need you to back up just a little bit because you're doing too much. Anyway, so keep that in mind too, y'all. Yes, so be mindful of those things too. And yeah, just be mindful. I'm just trying to see if anything else is coming through. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Anyway, so those are the messages, and I had already pulled some cards and shuffled them already, and I am just gonna go ahead and read it. That way it wastes a little less time, is what I'm seeing, to just kind of speed it up, because I don't want to make this a long video. Anyway, the smoky quartz came out. So this smoky quartz, Alesto, is a transmutal magical stone. A stone for karmic healing. Smoky quartz is a celestial, opens into different dimensions and brings powerful transmutation. Self-understanding. You have a powerful survival instinct and ability to go where others dare not to. Transmute the past. Realize the darkness is not evil. Facing your deepest fears. Turn these into golden gifts. You know that death is only a transformation into another state of being. Take responsibility for your life. Don't let others take control. So we've been talking about this for some time now, just with other people trying to control other people and get them to do what they want them to do, that form of manipulation that we've been talking about. So again, it says take responsibility for your life and don't allow others to take control. In other words, make your own decisions. You don't need to, and part of the problem, what I'm hearing is, if some of you guys stop telling some of your business to everybody and anybody, and just be mindful of who you sharing your information with, because remember, everybody doesn't always have your highest good, and sometimes people take that information that you have given them and they will use it against you. So keep that in mind too, because I know that a lot of doors were being closed on a lot of enemies, and they were being shut out. But I also saw that these were like some mild people, like snakes, should I say, that is still kind of going beyond the portals. That is, what I'm hearing is, it's more so of there will be tests, because there were like 2 other tests that I saw that, in a previous message that I gave, where, some things are just going to kind of appear out of nowhere. When I saw the snake in the drawer in one of the previous videos, and then, there was a snake that was behind the back of the neck or whatever the case may be. So you should always watch your back, even going forward. Just because the enemies were left behind, the people, the haters, or whatever the case may be, doesn't necessarily mean that you will not deal with trials or tests going forward, because these people that are here in the next portal that you're walking through or have already walked through, there some situations are tests as well too. So keep that in mind too, to not be deceived, to not get relaxed, to not think that, okay, well, I made it through the door, I can relax now. No. It's like I said yesterday about being spiritually fit, as the card came out, you gotta always be on guard. You gotta use your spiritual discernment. You have to use wisdom. And I'm not telling you to be paranoid. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is about being grounded and listening to your intuition, and allow your intuition to lead you and to guide you. Like when your instincts tell you, okay, well, don't trust that person, listen to your instincts. Is that the first thing that comes up? Listen, obviously, because I know for me on this journey, I used to second guess, and then there were people who allowed me, let me take that back. Let me take ownership. There were people who was allowing me to second guess my own self, to the point that I had to start shutting everybody out, so that way I can understand, and become more spiritually strong, should I say, to the point of not allowing others to influence my decision making. Not saying that I've always, let me say this, because I never really let people influence my decision making, but it was just more so of people who, my problem was, it wasn't outside people, it was family, it was like a significant other, it was your spouse, it was, sometimes, family members that's close to you that try to, make you think that, try to make you think that the information you was receiving, like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, that's not even possible, and so on and so on. But anyway, I just had to stop blocking them out and listen to my own gut. And then when I started to do that, I became more spiritually strong. So with all that being said, sometimes you just gotta block out people. Sometimes you just have to, those naysayers and haters, sometimes you just gotta not even give them or tell them your information, or even tell them, let alone telling them, is what I'm hearing, your next moves. Keep it to yourself. You don't have to tell people what you're doing, because usually when you tell people what you're doing, that's when they feel like they have the opportunity to voice their opinion when nobody asked them for it, and so on and so on. So keep that in mind. But anyway, let me finish. Divinations, be patient. Much stirs beneath a calm surface. Total transformation is close. It may entail a trip into the underworld. Your shadow becomes your brightest gift. Toxic emotions turn into positive regards. Ground your efforts in the everyday. Retain contact with higher realms, but retain contact with higher realms. Success comes through dedication and truth in your abilities. Mentors are available. Release yourself from old enchantments. So whatever those enchantments are for you, things that you were doing with, old habits, it's time to let that stuff go, because the direction that you're heading in is what I'm hearing is that stuff is no longer going to work. It's no longer going to work. Like, that's what I'm hearing. So that was one card. Let me read these other two. This was the Markable card, and there's a transition card. So the Markable card says the frequency of Markable supports our ability to use our consciousness to travels into other layers of reality. It's kind of like what we just talked about with that Smoky Quartz card. Same thing. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the total of our experiences into the present to serve our higher purpose. So it's like the masculine and the feminine energy integrating into each other. One was representing the masculine, another one representing the feminine, and they're merging into one. Anyway, the second one was transition. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence in our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transitions to occur with ease and grace. And you can chalk that up to those relationships that I was talking about. People are just kind of going through I don't want to say feelings, because there was no feelings there, but they're just going through. They're just, anyway. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there, and that's all I'm going to say. But I am wishing you all a happy Father's Day. For those of you out there who are fathers and you are standing in your integrity and you are doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing, knowing that you have an obligation and knowing that you have a responsibility and you're taking care of it, props go out to you. I say happy Father's Day to you all. And I want to say happy Father's Day to the mothers out there who are out there holding down the forts with dads not being in the home or not being a part of their kids' lives. More props go to you too as well too. And just know that you will be rewarded for your efforts, for everything that you having to do by carrying the load. But anyway, so keep that in mind. And I also want to say happy Father's Day to those single dads who are out there holding down the fort as well too, who doesn't have, moms in their lives, for whatever particular reasons that they're not there, as well as, for the dads or whatever. And no judgment to anyone. But I just basically wanted to, say that, just know that God sees your effort and he sees everything that you do, and just know that you will be rewarded for everything that you have to do. I know it's hard, because I too myself am having to deal with that as well too. But anyway, with all that being said, just keep in mind that you're doing what you do. For those of you who are holding down a fort, you're doing what you're doing because you're doing for the greater good of the kids, So just keep that in mind. Every time you look at your child, you just think about, I'm doing this not, for the child. But not only that, but for some of you, what I'm hearing is some of you, by doing what you're doing, by holding down the fort, it's like you're because I know it's not easy, but it's almost like you're what's the word? What I'm hearing is like you're breaking those generational patterns and habits, should I say. So keep that in mind too, and it'll be well worth it in the end. Yeah, just keep that in mind. And for those of you who are struggling with the kids, and let's just say that the kids are kind of doing their own thing and, you know, just kind of giving you a hard time, you know, I wish you much love too, you know. Sometimes, as somebody who has dealt with kids for 27 years, should I say, I will definitely say this. Sometimes, if maybe, again, I'm not being judgmental, I'm just saying sometimes we have to change our habits, and we have to change, thank you, Spirit. Sometimes we have to change our habits, and sometimes we have to break generational habits, curses, traumas, whatever, however you want to refer to it. And we have to heal those ancestor karma that our family line has endured from one generation to the next, you know, habits that we have, or, you know, because every family is going to be different. But it's up to you to just kind of look at the pattern that has been going on and just ask yourself whether you're the one who is not involved in your child's life. You need to look at yourself, and you should ask yourself, you know, am I standing in my integrity? Am I doing maybe what somebody in my family has also possibly did? You know, maybe have I seen someone set this example for me as well too, like with not being active in your kid's life. You know, you have to reach back and ask yourself, did my parents do this as well too? Did their parents do this to them? And did their parents? I mean, the list goes on and on. It can go from one generation to the next, but it's up to you to just discover, if you choose to. You know, some choose to keep a blind eye to what's going on. But if that can help any of you, you know, and if you know you want to be a part of your child's life, just do it. And if you're holding out because of the sake of a relationship that you're in, just only know that the child is suffering. And, you know, just know that that child is suffering because you're not being a part of that child's life in the process. So keep that in mind too. And just know that it's almost like, you know, if you were someone who had, I'm sorry, y'all, if you were someone who had experienced that type of situation, you have to ask yourself, do you want to put your kids through the same exact situation? But not only that, do you want to keep those same patterns going, you know, or do you want that pattern to stop with you? Because it's just a matter of just making a simple choice of just saying, you know what, I see that this has been a pattern in the family. Such and such has done this. My dad has done this. My granddad has done this. And his great granddad has done this. So am I going to keep carrying on the pattern? You know, this could apply to Mother's Day. It could apply to Father's Day. It doesn't matter. So nobody is off limits. But what I am saying, it just so happened is Father's Day, that this information is coming forth. So keep that in mind too. Like, you know, do you want to keep those patterns going? Because just keep in mind that if you felt, what I'm hearing is, if you felt a certain way about your parents growing up, just know that if you don't correct, or if you choose not, if you choose not to correct, because we all have free will, if you choose not to correct your patterns, what's going to end up happening is the same way you was pointing your finger at whether it be your mother, your father, or whatever the case may be, 9 times out of 10, your child, if you're not active in their life, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be a point in time when you want to become active in their life. And, you know, and what I'm hearing too also is you're collecting more karma. You know, when you're not fulfilling your obligations, paying your spiritual debts is what I refer to it as, you know, is kind of what they refer to it as too. Like, we all got soul contracts that we have to fulfill. So when we're not doing our part in a situation, we're accumulating more karma. And with that being said, you know, that karma can come later down the road when you decide you want to have, thank you, Spirit. When you decide you want to have a relationship with your child. Thank you, Spirit. Oh my God. Like, okay, so let me hear. This is what I'm hearing, because this information came up to me yesterday, but it's actually coming up to me like right now. And I clearly remember, really quick, like DMX, may his soul rest in peace. Oh, I love his music, and I love that man. You know, I'm sorry for all the unfortunate things that he had to deal with, he had to experience throughout his life, and may his soul rest in peace. But I want to use him as an example. If anybody saw that video, when I think his son and Ayana, I think it was, they decided his son wanted to finally reach out to him, where his son had became a certain age, and his son was basically saying, like, in so many words, and I see this so often, and this is exactly what I was talking about. So it's a classic example. So here's the example for you. DMX did a video, I think they was inside the studio, him, Ayana, and his son, the oldest son, and basically DMX wanted to have a conversation with his son, but apparently Ayana, I guess because she was trying to intervene or whatever the case may be, he was getting upset with her because she was trying to get them to have a conversation and get him to listen to what his son had to say. But I think his son was basically saying, DMX was basically saying that he's always been open to the fact of having a relationship with his son, in so many words. But his son, I guess he felt like, well, I'm the kid, so you're the adult. Shouldn't you be reaching out to me in a sense? So with that being said, his son felt some type of way about that. And I think it bothered him because, again, sometimes us as adults, we have to be careful because sometimes, you know, you could be holding on to some, let me just say it, some shit from your past, to the point of you could be holding on to some shit from your past. In other words, that you're putting expectations on your kids when those are really when you really should be, oh God, I'm like tongue twister right now. You putting expectations onto your kids when it's really your when it's really your parental responsibility to step up to the plate. In other words, I see so many adults that try to put it back in the kids' court and try to tell the kids, well, guess what? The kids have only been here for so long. And it depends on how old this adult is, whether you're in your 40s, your 60s, or whatever the case may be. At some point, you got to assume responsibility. Like, you've been here, you live much longer than, you know, the average person. So in other words, your child is much younger than you. So in other words, why are you guys, not why, but you guys shouldn't be putting that responsibility on the kids. And I say that to say because the kids are kids. They're innocent. They should be able to enjoy their childhood, not with trying to assume adult responsibilities before they even become an adult. So it's almost like it basically, in so many words, it's time for the dads who do stuff like that. It's time for y'all to step up to the plate. The kids, I'm sorry to say it, but the kids are smarter. They're wiser. I hate to say it, they seem like they so much more mature, and it's to the point that they just like, no, like, that's not how that works. I'm the kid. You're the adult. You should be reaching out to me. And it's not that I feel like, I know it's not the kids who are not open to receiving their parents reaching out to them. It's just a matter of their parents making a step to reach out to them, because basically the kids are open. I feel like the kids are open, but it's almost like, no, I'm going to be a kid. That's not my responsibility. And when you decide to grow up and man up or grown up, you know, when you make that effort, I'll be here in a sense. But yeah, so anyway, well, thank you, Spirit, for bringing that up. But anyway, so keep that in mind too, y'all. So I hope that information was helpful. I hope you don't take offense to what it is that I'm saying, but I see it one too many times. Like I said, I've dealt with kids for 27 years, and I've seen a lot of kids come and go, and you know, some kids had their fathers present, and then there were some kids who didn't have their father present. And for those who didn't have their father presence, I saw the kind of effects that it had on the kids, to the point that it's almost like when kids, or when parents left to go to work, it's almost like I had to be the nurturer and pick up that, I had to be the nurturer for those kids, in a sense, like to nurture those kids, because they weren't really, I'm not going to say that they wasn't getting what they needed at home, but understand that it takes two to bring a child into this world, and it's not just one person's responsibility. And on that note, I'm just gonna go ahead and end it there. And for those of you who are out there nurturing kids, whether they're your nieces, nephew, grandkids, and you know, uncles, cousins, whatever, sister, brothers, whatever, keep nurturing the kid. Just know that you will be divinely rewarded for all your efforts in the process. But make sure you take care of yourself first in the process before you can go and nurture somebody else's child, because you can't, you know, nurture somebody else's child if you ain't taking care of yourself first. But first and foremost, just, you know, just make sure that you're not passing down, again, those family trauma habits, you know, as much as you can. But yeah, no judgment. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, I'm going to wish you all much love. I'm going to wish you much light, and on till the next video, unless a message comes through tomorrow. Again, I wish you all happy Father's Day, the ones who are active and even the ones who aren't active. Much love, and I wish you all much light, and I say namaste. Bye.